This is Liz.
This is Jade.
And this is Carly. And you're listening to
Babes.
And
Babes.
babies.
babes, babies, babe. That was good, guys.
I feel like we need to be joining a conga line now.
Oh, yes. I want
can't
a conga.
hold that first babes long enough. Like, you guys have to
take
say
a really deep
because I
breath.
can't hold it.
Babes.
I'm like, babe.
You guys, I'm sorry if I sound weird. My nose is super stuffed up. So
You sound
I
so
apologize.
weird.
I know, I do sound
Yeah.
weird.
No.
It sounds like you're talking like this.
Guess what, everybody? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, well, this isn't coming out until for a few more days, but we're recording on Carly's birthday.
Oh my
I was
god.
going to say, it's Carly's birthday.
I'm
Happy
old.
birthday to you.
Also,
Happy
you guys
birthday
sent me the
to
most
you.
beautiful flowers, and they're sitting next to me staring at me, and they're so pretty.
Yay.
They're just like, it's
Yay.
like fall wrapped up in a little bitty
Burlap sack.
Yeah, sack. It's so cute.
I think, so Farm Girl Flowers, that's who we got it from. They get their burlap sacks from coffee shops. They're like donated burlap
that's
sacks.
so
they're
cool.
Yeah, so they're like recycled.
Ah, they're so cool.
Yeah, they're so cool.
They're so much cooler than we
I've
are.
always wanted to like start a business where I do something with recycled something and give something back. Like I used to make these coffee scrubs. So I remember I was trying to find a coffee shop to like give me because the coffee scrubs are actually better after the coffee's been brewed, or the coffee grounds. So to get them like donated from a coffee shop and then like whatever. But I'm not a motivated person, guys.
You
I have
the
lots of ideas. Yeah, I have
That's
tons
so
of ideas,
funny.
but
The
I'm not
follow through,
Yeah.
not so much.
Not
I'm
so much
actually
the
kind of the
doer.
same. I have like the ideas, and then like
dreamer.
I need someone to grab my arm and like pull me through my idea.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need someone
Yeah.
to like be like, "Hey, Liz, you have this dream. Cool. I will help you with the follow through." And then I'm like,
Yeah.
"Cool."
Yeah. No, I get
Cool.
that. Maybe that's
What
what,
do
we
you-
need to work on in life.
Yeah. I
follow
know that
through.
all three of us, there's not one with the strong suit to pull us through.
I feel like you are, Jade. Like you have ideas, and you're
Jade's
like,
the
okay, let's see how
strongest.
we can make this happen. And then like you do all this research, and then like you're like, this is the way to make it happen. It's pretty amazing.
Problem solution.
Yeah.
That's what I try to tell myself.
Yeah.
What are you doing for your birthday?
Oh my gosh, I just looked down and I have like Bella's food all over me. That's so gross. So my parents are taking me to lunch. And then I am going to, there's this new place, well, it's relatively new, called House of Cards. It's this like restaurant in downtown Nashville. And it's supposed to be like a magic show and like all these things. And you can't take pictures inside. So like you don't know what it like looks like until you're like in it. But there's like a dress code, and I'm going with Julia and Evan's brother, and then we're staying in a hotel downtown. My parents are watching Bella for the night. So Evan's trying to convince me to go to karaoke, but I've decided I only like private room karaoke, not public karaoke anymore. It's just too stressful in Nashville. Everybody wants to be a singer, and it's like a competition instead of like fun.
Right. Everyone's
You
up there
know?
to perform.
Yeah.
And do you feel like it's different because people know you?
Yeah, well, and like last time we went to this little place called Lonnie's. It's like so cute, and it's like the only place in Nashville for karaoke you can actually get up and like sing multiple times because there's never anyone there. And like I went up and sang like the guy is like this old guy who loves country music. So I sang like Patsy Cline or something, and he was like, "You win the award for this hour or something," and like gave me a trophy. And then he took a picture of me, and he's like, "Oh, and now I put it on Facebook, and everybody's talking about you." And I didn't know you were famous, but I knew that he did, and that's the only reason I got the award, and I was really mad.
Hey, is that place that you go upstairs? Did you take me there with that?
I
Ashley
went there
girl one time.
with you guys.
That place is closed now. It's been closed
That is?
forever. It's so sad.
Oh,
Yeah,
Liz,
but
you
it-
went to Lottie's. We went to Lottie's with Liz.
No, with some upstairs, karaoke things. I remember the
Oh,
one
that
time I
place.
was
Yeah.
Yeah.
That place closed.
Yeah,
That's
it's
sad.
so sad. I know. That place is cool. But this place is like, it's like a little bit off the beaten path, and it's really small. It's like they only serve beer, and they don't even serve wine. They only serve beer, and it's cash only. So I think that's probably why people don't really go there, because they like want to get, you know, like liquor wasted when they're in downtown Nashville. But it's really cute and really fun. So if anyone wants to sing karaoke, I would suggest going there, because you'll actually be able to sing. But so that's what I'm doing. Nothing super hardcore.
The magic show place sounds really cool.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to wear. Of course, Julia this morning, what are you wearing? I'm like, I don't know. Probably black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to be mysterious.
Oh, yeah. Probably some dark eye makeup tonight.
Ooh.
You know, rawr. Also, I went to a psychic yesterday, and he was amazing.
What?
Yeah. And he was like, you guys, this is so weird. So it takes like 4 months to get into this guy. And I like gave it to myself as like my birthday present, because I went last year and he like told me all these things, and like all of them came true. And I was listening to, okay, I don't know how to say her name, but like I was listening to Super Soul Sunday on the way to like get me in the mood. And it was this lady from OWN who like, her name is like Ivania or something like that. And I was listening to her, and he, in the middle of our session, he's like, do you know the lady that's like, Ivania changed my life from the like OWN network? And I started laughing, and I was like, I honestly was just listening to her in the car. Like, what the heck? It was so weird. And then, and then he was like, you know, ultimately in life, I see you doing like a hosting job, like, you know, like Kelly Pickler does. And I was like, I was just on that show last week. Like he was saying, and then he said, your dad's like an entrepreneur. Like he would like be opening like a, you know, a coffee shop or something. And I was like, oh, he's opening a soda shop. Like you guys, it was so weird. So weird. I did ask him.
How long
It's an hour session. Wow. I did ask him at the end if I was going to have any more kids. And he said I was going to, but it was going to be a hard process to get pregnant. And that it was going to be the worst pregnancy ever. Like I was going to be so sick the whole time, but the baby was going to be fine. I was like, don't tell me that.
I reject this.
He was like, you're going to lose your sense of smell and taste, and you're just going to feel sick, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, no. But yeah, he said, no. Evan will be taking herbs.
Herbs?
What? What is why?
Herbs for his virility? Fertility?
I guess so. He was like, Evan will be taking some herbs. Well, he didn't say his name. And he's like, and you know, you'll be doing things to naturally boost your fertility. It was really interesting. I was like, that's so weird.
I return this to the universe.
Yes to the baby if the baby is supposed to come.
No.
But he also said it was going to be a boy. And I'm like, oh, wait, I have girl things.
You're a fertile myrtle.
Listen, it's going to happen. But
he said it's going to be a boy?
Said it would be. He said there was boy energy running around me.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I was like, he goes, wait, does he have kids? I was like, yeah. And he goes, are they boys? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, wait, do you have a girl? I'm like, yes. And he goes, okay, yeah, I think you're going to have a boy. I was like, oh my God, okay. But it wouldn't be for a while. Anyway.
I think that it's so weird, like, when psychic stuff is real. I've had a couple readings before that were, like, crazy real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it was just, like,
it's interesting.
Sometimes you can go in there and it's, like, generalizations, and you're like, okay. Like, you could have told that to anybody. But this was, like, I mean, he was pulling the lady I was just listening to in the car. Like, you can't Google that. You could Google that I was on Kelly Pickler. You can't Google my dad was opening a soda shop. Like, those things are so specific that I was like, this is so weird.
I Googled that, or I looked up on her podcast. Her name is like Iyanla.
Yeah.
Von Zant. It's a weird name.
Yeah, it's super weird. But she's really funny.
Iyanla. It's pretty.
Yeah. She's yesterday I was laughing so hard because she was like, you know, if you're not doing things in life where you're so nervous a little pee's coming out, you ain't doing it right.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing.
I know, she's like, not a lot of pee, but like a little bit of pee.
Oh my gosh.
It made me really happy. Anyway, I just thought that was crazy. So guys, one of the most important things we do for our health every day is brushing our teeth. And yet, most of us don't do it properly. Quip is a better electric toothbrush created by dentists and designers, and Quip was designed to make brushing your teeth more simple, affordable, and actually even enjoyable.
I'm not going to lie that those first couple months that I was a mom, I wasn't brushing my teeth twice a day.
That is
me either.
I'm sorry. Sometimes you're just so tired and you just go to bed. Sorry, Tanner, too, who had to wake up to that morning breath. But the reason why I love Quip is because its sensitive sonic vibrations are gentle enough for your gums, and it gets the job done. And it has a built-in 2-minute timer, which pulses every 30 seconds to remind you to switch sides. So when I use my brush, I'm definitely knowing I'm getting a clean mouth. And the brush heads are automatically delivered on a dentist-recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5. So I know I'm getting a new toothbrush. It's not going to have a ton of bacteria on it. It's all fresh and clean, and I'm taking care of my mouth.
I like that it delivers every 3 months because I definitely forget to switch my toothbrush out.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the timer on it, too. I am an Advent, brush for 2 minutes every time. So I love it when there's something that's timing that out for me. And that's why I love Quip and why they are backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. Quip starts at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/babes right now, you'll get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electronic toothbrush. That's your first refill pack for free at getquip.com/babes.
But I wanted to ask you guys a birthday question because I was thinking about this morning. What is your favorite birthday gift you've ever received or birthday story? What's your most memorable birthday moment or gift?
I don't know. Gosh. All the way back to when we were kids or adulthood?
Yeah. So mine was when I was little, I remember I really wanted a bike. And my grandparents came over. We were having a party at our house. My grandparents came over and gave me a bag, little tiny bag. And I knew it wasn't a bike, right? Aww. So I take out the tissue paper. There's nothing in the bag. And they're like, oh, we must have left it in the car. Why don't you come out to the car and we'll see if we can find it? And there was a big bike in the trunk.
That's so cute.
And I remember being so sad, but then overwhelmed with happiness. So I was like, I wonder what y'all's are. Because I was like, do people have stories like that? Or really, I don't know. Or your favorite birthday party?
Well, I used to have pretty epic slumber party birthdays. You remember, Liz?
Yes.
My mom and dad would always let me have all the girls over from school, and we would go nuts in the house. We would do these. My parents would set up in the living room this a broom across the hall.
Oh my gosh.
We would run as fast as we could and see if we could ninja jump over it into a bunch of pillows and blankets. And
oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't remember presents, but I just remember my birthday party as always being tons of fun.
Did anyone ever go? I was always the girl who was too scared and went home at slumber parties. Did anybody ever go home?
I don't know. I definitely remember myself doing that once.
Yeah.
At a girl named Andrea Trick's birthday party because there was these clothes hanging up on a door and on a doorknob. And when we were sleeping, I kept looking at the clothes and it looked like it was Chucky, the killer doll.
Oh my gosh, that is so scary.
Chucky's in the house.
Oh my God.
And so I remember running over to wake up her mom in the bed, and her mom rocked me in the in her rocking chair, and I was 8 years old or something. I was like, why is she rocking me in a rocking chair?
Oh my God.
But she was holding me, and I was like, I just want to go home.
Oh yeah, that's so
and I don't
funny.
think I don't know if she let me go home. I think my mom still had to get me the next day.
Oh,
she just rocked me in this rocking chair, I guess, until I was like, I'm fine.
I guess I'll go to sleep now. What about you, Liz?
I feel I have a horrible memory. So I can tell you, in the last few years, I've received some absolutely amazing gifts to where I'm this is probably one of the best gifts I've ever received. And I don't remember what they are because I have the worst memory in the world. But growing up, I don't remember. I remember my 5th grade birthday, my mom, we got a hotel room and a bunch of girls from school came and we went to the swimming pool and because my birthday's in January, so I could never have at the pool, birthday.
Right.
So I remember we went to this swimming pool and stayed at the hotel, and that was fun. But I think one of my favorite gifts was this last year. No, it wasn't this last year. It was the birthday before. Vito had ordered for me this giant map, and it's huge. And the colors of it are so beautiful. It's water brush colors. and it's like one to put like all the places that you've been.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So now I have like, my goal is to have 3 different colored pens. So the ones like where I've been, where he's been, and where we've been.
I love that.
That is cool.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
it's
great
beautiful.
gift.
So he got it framed for me because when he came to Vegas in January 2017, and it was sent here, I think, and then he brought it to Vegas and like had it framed. So I didn't know. He goes, "Hey, you have to go here and like pick up your gift," because he was already back in Chicago.
Oh,
so I went to pick it up, and I was like, "How do I put this in my car?"
God.
Like, I don't know how I'm going to get it home, but figured it out, and it was super thoughtful because he knows that I love traveling, and I've always wanted one of those maps. And
That's so cool. I love that. I want one of those now. Evan,
Those are cool.
are you listening? No.
The gift I got you, Liz, last year is not your favorite present.
I don't know what you got me. Oh, the painting. Yeah.
I was like, what?
I told you I have the worst memory ever. So I love that piece of art. And it's so funny because I viewed it differently than what it was. Was I talking to you about it?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Because when I opened it, it was on the side. And I thought it looked like this face in the mountains, like staring at the sun.
Ah.
But it's actually supposed to be the other way. And it's just like the sun above the mountains.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So I was like, this is so cool. And I was like, oh, I've been staring at it wrong. But no, I love that. I'm excited because we haven't hung anything up in the house that Vito bought. And I have like everything that I want to hang up like in the rooms, just like laying in the room. So I'm excited to like put all the artwork up and stuff like that. Because I don't have any like real good art pieces like that. I do love it.
I love art.
Yeah.
It's fun to accumulate.
Mm-hmm. But then it's like if you have to keep it with your house scheme, you know what I mean, or color scheme, or then it's like things change. And
I know. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I don't know. Jade, I was listening to our episode from last week, and you were saying how like your boobs will kind of like fill up in between feeding Emerson.
Yeah.
And one thing that helps if anyone's trying to decrease their milk is actually peppermint oil. If you rub a little bit of peppermint oil with coconut oil and you rub it on your breast, it actually dries up your breast milk.
Well, I wasn't wanting to do that because I'm trying to keep just enough to feed her twice, every 12 hours. So 2 feedings. So I'm like, I want to do that, but I'm also scared that if I like did that, it would just suck it dry and then I'd have nothing. Because I'm trying to, my cutoff date I set for me and her is when we go on that trip. Because otherwise I'd have to pump milk and I just don't feel like I want to increase.
Oh my gosh, so you only have like a couple weeks left.
I know. Because I feel like I'll just dry up on the trip.
Yeah, you might, unless you're going to pump on it.
We'll bring peppermint oil.
Yeah. I mean, I could pump while I'm gone, but then I feel like she might not want it when I get back. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like 72 hours without milk. No, I was watching Jillian Harris's Instagram stories because she just had her baby, and she was talking about how it'd be $1 million idea to whatever the enzyme is in cabbage leaves to extract that and sell that.
Yeah, for mastitis and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For when women's boobs are engorged.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's a smart thing. I looked up what the enzyme is, and it's some weird thing, but I was like, why hasn't anybody done that yet?
No kidding. Why aren't we doing that?
Wait, no one listened to the idea. It's ours.
This is ours. Actually, it's
definitely
Jillian's.
We need to find like a chemist of some sort.
If you're a chemist and you want to work with us.
So, you guys, the other day when we were getting ready to podcast, I had my coffee and my RX bar because I eat them every morning, and I could tell that Emerson was really interested in it, and I let her try it, and she was so funny. She would not give it back, and she was getting so messy because it was a bigger bar, and now I discovered that they actually have kids bars from RX too. And so
that's so cool.
Yeah. And they're just smaller sized, and they still have all the same simple and whole ingredients, but the nuts are chopped up tinier. So you don't have to worry about their little kid mouths. And she had the peanut butter and jelly flavored one the other day. And it was just like, there's something about watching a little kid eat that's so cute. And now we have our RX bars together.
Oh, that's so cute.
I'm not going to lie. I had the kids' peanut butter and jelly one the other day, and it was really good. Yeah, that's why our RX bars are great, though. They're great for adults. They're great for kids, for parents when you're always on the go. I know you ladies are always super busy.
Yes.
And it's an extra snack to add in your kid's lunch. But even today, Vito asked me to bring him food, but he didn't ask for the lunch that I made. He asked me to bring him 3 RX bars. And
that is so
I was
funny.
like, babe, it's a little extensive, but we do love them here.
That's so funny.
And yeah, we love that they're whole ingredients. It's made with real things. You can read everything that's in it, and they're very holistic and nutrient dense.
Yeah, it is definitely my breakfast on the go. When I jump in the car, I always have one with me. It makes life so much easier, and I know I'm eating something healthy. And RX Bar is offering you an exclusive pack of 6 adult bars and 4 kid bars, so the whole family is able to enjoy. For 25% off your first order, visit rxbar.com/babes and enter promo code BABES at checkout.
So your guys' pictures from Disneyland were so cute.
Oh
How
my
was
gosh. We had so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. We got there. What time did we get there? We got there early. 10,
not like 7 o'clock in the morning, but like 10, yeah.
10. And we went for about 3-4 hours, and we were like, oh my gosh, I think we're done. But then we tried to rally. And then once we rallied, we stayed for another like
couple
3
hours. Yeah.
We were there for a long time, especially with little babies, but we survived.
We did. And we had a good time. And the girls took a nap together at one point. So we ate ice cream while they were taking a nap. We didn't share. But we went on like a few rides. We went on It's a Small World. And then we went on, oh gosh, some horrible, stupid ride with like mini castles. And then,
oh my gosh, the storybook ride.
Don't ever go on that.
Everyone listening, don't stand in line for a storybook.
That's stupid.
It's not worth it.
Ride. But then we went on Winnie the Pooh, which is the scariest ride ever because it's like about Pooh's bad dream. And what's so funny because before we go on the ride, I'm like, oh my gosh, Jade, like I hope there's not a heffalumps and woozles part. And she's like, what is that? And she goes, oh, yeah, I remember that. And she's like, yeah, that's scary. And the whole freaking thing was heffalumps and woozles. It was like, beware, 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 beware. And the whole time, then it was like the bad trip of Winnie the Pooh. And Bella didn't like it. And it was really scary.
Well, what we learned is like a lot of the rides there, even though if they're for little kids, all the Fantasyland rides are scary.
Super scary.
So the only one that's not is It's a Small World, and people still call that one scary because they're just like a bunch of little dolls.
Yeah.
But they're at least happy.
Right. Even like when we went through the castle, it was all Maleficent. The whole thing.
Yeah. It's a
like
lot of
Sleepy
it's about
Beauty's
the villains.
castle. Yeah,
and
it was weird.
Like the, what would you call it? Oh, what's the word? I can't think of it. But like the princess
antagonist.
Or whatever. Yes. The antagonist. Running away or trying to escape and then like conquering. But it's always like that kind of like storyline, and it's scary. I'm like,
Disneyland, what are you trying to imprint on our children?
I know.
It's really weird.
The babies are obviously just like, oh, look, it's a moving thing. And, you know, and they don't understand really. But at 3 or 4 years old, when you're just starting to get a really vivid imagination, like, this could be terrifying.
It could be traumatizing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but
maybe we just need people to tell us which ones to go on. There's got to be like more happy ones. We just didn't go on them. And
the Little Mermaid is, I think, I remember when we took Emerson on the Little Mermaid. There is a Ursula moment, but most of it's happy.
Oh my goodness. I loved The Little Mermaid when I was little. My sister and I, we used to take turns in the bathtub, like be doing the "in part of your world,"
gosh,
and doing that push-up thing. And like one of us would get to be Ariel and the other one would have to be Ursula. And we'd always be like, okay, now it's my turn.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
You would like push up like you're on the rock and like the waves are crashing around you.
Yes, I love that.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people though, because my mentality is, I don't want to take my baby to Disneyland. I feel like it seems pointless. They don't know what's going on. It's expensive. You have to wait in line for rides. Right. But There's people who are like, what else? I mean, we're limited to how many cool things we can do with our babies. So maybe that's an option.
I have a serious problem with people who are like, they're not going to remember it. Like I am like, either someone who says that either doesn't have a kid or they're just sour, because every memory is a memory, and it's you spending time with them, and you're going to hold on to that, and it's bonding. It's a bonding experience. And it's new stimulation for them. They're learning to be social. They're learning to be in new environments. You're setting up those traditions. It's just like when people are like, well, they're not going to remember that. I'm like, screw you, person.
And it's like I'm like, but I will. I told Evan, I was like, listen, this is like my birthday trip, and I want to go to Disneyland because I've never been. You know, I was like, yes, it's for Bella, but really, it's mostly for me. My favorite part, though, was I went up to, there's like a bunch of, they have like princesses, but they're like baby princesses. And Emerson got Cinderella, and I let Bella go up, and I was like, Bella, which ones do you want? And I just let her reach out, and she would grab them, and I'd be like, okay, you can have that one. She'd reach out and grab another one, and I'd go, okay, you can have that one.
And then Carly walked away with all 9 princesses.
I know. I was like, is that bad if I get all of them? And I was like, okay, I can't get all of them. I'll get 3 more next time we go. But it was really funny. I was like, I'll never forget that, just because I was like, which ones do you want? Okay, you can have that. Okay, you can have that. I can't say no.
So you guys would recommend, even if you feel like, well, they're little, should we go? Shouldn't we go?
It's
like
for
maybe,
you. Do it.
I would definitely say it's doable. And just go as long as you want. If you go for 3 hours, I still think it's worth it.
And yes, it is expensive, but you know, like for us, like we're not in California all the time. Like, when are we going to get to Disneyland? I don't know. Like, it's fun. It was just fun. It was bonding time for me and Jade too.
It was, and our babies.
Yeah.
And the girls.
Yeah. And they were dressed up as princesses.
I know,
Emerson was
so
Snow
cute.
White, and Bella was Anna. I had a little...
oh my gosh, that wig that you put on her, I died.
Oh my God. She hated it so much. But then at one point she calmed down enough to like wear it for like a hot second. She looked so weird, but it was so funny.
It's hilarious.
Anyway, that was fun. Okay, moms, you're going to want to listen to this. Prep Dish is a meal planning service. Every week you get an email with a grocery list and prep dish instructions, so all of your meals are ready for the week. There's no guesswork. It just lets Prep Dish do the planning for you. And if you have a crazy schedule, it's such a time saver. It's a healthy meal planning service. And you signed up, you get a week email, and it's done for you. The groceries list, the extra instructions for how to make it. You'll be chopping and mixing ahead of time, leaving you with zero decisions to make at dinner. It's just, boom, done.
That's so nice because you don't have to stress at all. You know, I was thinking who else could use this, because my brother, he's a bachelor, and he never makes a meal unless I make a meal, and how good this would be for him to just grab the grocery list. It's a no-brainer. He goes to the store, he buys all this stuff, and he can make his own healthy meals. I think it's great for single people too, because it's so hard to cook for one.
Right.
Yeah.
That is true. And the founder, Allison, is offering listeners a free 2-week trial to try it out. And you can't beat that. Check out prepdish.com/babies for this amazing deal. Again, that's prepdish.com/babies for your first 2 weeks free. Do it.
Free.
No brainer.
Free. Yeah. So I guess I want to talk about, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
And as women, we just wanted to talk about that topic too. And we have, Liz, I'll let you introduce. Who are we having on?
Oh my goodness. Her name is Laura. She is a breast cancer survivor, and she is going to be sharing her story with us. We just wanted to get somebody on who's been through the journey and can just share that with our listeners, because we know a lot of our listeners have been through it as well. I know.
Is that you, Liz?
Yeah. It's the weird ringing things that happen in this office that I'm in. But, and also just because it's crazy, because there's 266,120 new cases of invasive breast cancer that are expected to be diagnosed in women in the U.S., along with 63,960 new cases of non-invasive breast cancer.
Wow.
And then there's about 2,550 new cases of invasive breast cancer that are expected to be diagnosed in men in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, breast cancer in men happens too.
I didn't know that. I mean, I guess I should have known that, but I never thought about it.
Isn't this statistic? I think I've heard this before. It's like 1 in 8 women in their lifetime will have breast cancer.
Wow. 1 in 8?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Like in some stage of breast cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Staggering.
I know even for me, because you can get it at all ages. I think for most people, they assume cancer is something that happens when you're older, or like you have time, like it'll come later, but it really can happen at any time. So I know for me, I'm not very good at examining my breasts. You know how they tell you you're supposed to like examine in the shower and feel your tissue? I have no idea what my normal breast tissue feels like, so I know I need to.
Well, you're supposed to do it like in a circle, right? So
let's all do it right now.
Let's
everybody do this together.
I think, don't quote me, people, on this, but
we are not medical professionals.
If you divided your boob into like a pie of like 8 slices, you're supposed to like circle and like rub the tissue in each section and just feel for like a lump, and you kind of rub in circles, I think.
Okay.
And you kind of just
I just
move
don't
around,
like the way it feels. It's uncomfortable.
Move around your areola. Like, you mean it hurts, or it's just uncomfortable?
It's just I'm on my period. It hurts.
Oh, yeah.
And I just honestly like, so I have breast implants, and
do you really?
Mm-hmm, I got it done.
I didn't know that.
Almost 10 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
And when I move my implant around, it's not comfortable.
But you don't have to like, I mean, you can just kind of press on the tissue on top.
Yeah, I don't like the way it feels.
So with the the cancer, could it be under the
implant? I have no idea.
Your implant's under the muscle, though, right?
Yeah, mine's under the muscle. Yeah. So the tissue's on top.
Gotcha.
Tissue, yeah.
Okay.
Should be.
But for some women who might have them on top of the muscle, that could happen, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know anything about breast implants, although now I want them. Better up here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited to get her on and her to share her story. I know that I had one aunt who had breast cancer, and survived it. She has passed away now from a different reason, but, I just remember when I was younger hearing about it, and that she got one of her breasts removed, basically. So,
yeah.
So I know that that's something that.
Well, and nowadays women are getting their breast tissue removed beforehand because breast cancer can be genetic, just like Leslie Murphy.
Yeah.
She got all of her breast tissue removed from both breasts, and they remove your areolas and your nipples and everything. So I think she has fake ones now.
Oh, wow.
They're like synthetic. It's like synthetic nipples and areolas. But
didn't Angelina Jolie do that?
She did it too.
Yeah.
As just a precaution, which I think is crazy. I mean, but like if you feel that's, something you want to do to save your life, possibly, then I understand why people do it. But it just blows. Well, I mean, good for you, but wow. I'd actually love to get Leslie on. I've reached out to her before, so hopefully she'll come on sometime, but I'd love to hear her story.
100%, me too. And I think everybody else would too.
When I put out asking for people who have breast cancer to come on, a lot of people requested to hear from Leslie. Yeah.
Well, they call it pre-survivor. So she's a pre-survivor. So she actually hasn't had cancer, but she was just doing the precaution where she was removing her breast tissue before the cancer ever had a chance to grow, which makes sense because sometimes cancer spreads. And so she's taking care of herself and taking care of her health and, preventing possibly like her, helping her loved ones by keeping herself around, so.
That's amazing.
But she's a pre-survivor is what they call it now. But yeah, my neighbor, She passed away last year from breast cancer, and her twins were 12, and it was so sad because we all did like a meal train, and we all brought food over while she was in hospice, and it's just so sad.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a good thing just because, I mean, there's got to be a cure out there somewhere. There's got to be something that we can do to save people's loved ones. But like you said, Liz, checking your body, checking your boobs, and, just keeping on top of it so you can catch it fast. Isn't it like you have to get a mammogram? You get a mammogram not until you're 35. I mean, maybe they should start bumping that up early.
I know when I get a pap smear, though, the doctor feels my boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the mammogram is where it like goes in that machine, and I heard it's painful, like squeezes your boob really tight. No. Yeah, but Liz, you got to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I hate like everything at the doctor's office. So, as I've said before, I am trying to get in shape for my wedding. And I actually just started the 80-day obsession on Beachbody On Demand, and it is super motivating. I love it so far. I'm only on day 4, but I actually already feel sore and some changes in my body. But I'm super excited to see my results in 75 days.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, guys.
What's crazy is Beachbody On Demand has so many different workout programs. It's the company behind P90X, Insanity, 21 Day Fix, Brazil Butt Lift, and like so many other ones. And you can do it from your computer, web-enabled TV, a tablet, smartphone, Roku, Apple TV, Chromecast, and so much more anytime you want. And you don't have to go to the gym.
Yeah, which is the best part, right? You can just do it from home. I love that. You guys, we are challenging you. If you feel like you've been needing to get off the couch and just move around, this is your chance. Right now, our listeners get a special free trial membership, including their new 14-day results plan, where you can lose up to 9 pounds in the first 2 weeks. When you text,
that's amazing.
Right. When you text babes to 303030, you will get full access to this entire platform for free. All the workouts, the nutrition information, the results plan to get you there super fast. And you know what? You get support, which is totally free too. Again, just text babes to 303030.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm sure, there's probably people listening who know like ways to help prevent and do that. So if you're one of those people who has dealt with breast cancer research and know like tips to help prevent or whatever, definitely reach out to us so we can share that information. I know one of my cousins, he's like a scientist and researches cancer. I remember ever since I was younger, because he's like, 15, 16 years older than me, that he's like he researches cures for cancer. So
that's amazing.
Maybe I can ask him if he knows anything.
Sometimes I've watched cancer documentaries, and sometimes you can eat healthy, you can exercise, you can watch your weight, you can watch your blood pressure, you can do everything in the book, you can stay out of the sun, whatever. And sometimes people still get it. It's just, I don't know. It's sad. So you can try everything too, and sometimes you still get cancer.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things to prevent, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to work. I'm sure that there's things that we can do to keep our bodies as healthy as possible to prevent things, but it's not 100% guaranteed, because we just live in a world where, disease exists and it sucks. So, but that's why hearing stories like Laura's, I'm sure is going to be super inspirational, because there are ways that people can survive, and there's things that people can go through and do to get through it and come out on the other side. So I'm sure she will inspire us.
Oh, for sure.
Let's get her on. Thank you so much for coming on to share your story with us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's very sweet, very special.
Of course.
Yeah. So I guess none of us know that much about breast cancer. But we would just love for you to kind of share how you discovered it and your journey getting over it and all of that.
Okay. So my situation is a little weird. I noticed a lump when I was 17 years old, and it ended up being what they call a fibroadenoma, which is just a benign lump. And because of that, I had no history at the time of breast cancer. So because of that, though, they still wanted to watch me and make sure that it wasn't going to turn into anything else, or I didn't get any more lumps. But throughout those years, from 17 to 31, I kept getting more and more of these benign lumps. So every time I got one, it really wasn't that scary because I just thought it's just another fibroadenoma. So I would go every 6 months to be checked. And I went in February, and they were checking the one had been watching. And during that time, after she felt that around on that one, she, does where she just feels around everywhere else to make sure there's nothing else that she feels weird. And she felt the one that they found, and she did an ultrasound in the office, and I could see it to the right of me, and I'm like, that does not look like when she ultrasounds these other ones. It just looked a little scarier. And so she had me in for a biopsy the next day. And then 5 days later, I was told that I had breast cancer. And it was just the most surreal, crazy thing, because you don't think you're going to get breast cancer at 31, but that's what happened.
So that just happened this last February.
Wow.
So then what did you do after they told you that?
So after that, in my head, I always thought as soon as you get found out you have cancer, you're going to, okay, let's get this out of me. Like, let's schedule next week, get this out of me. And that's not how it worked at all. I had so many tests. I did a blood test that day to check for this genetic thing called it's BRCA1, BRCA2. It's a mutation to where you just can produce cancer, basically. And I did come back negative for that. But so they had to do that test. I did a breast MRI. They did, what all they do? Mammograms, ultrasounds. I had all these tests. I met with I can't even count how many doctors in between the times of actually finding it and then actually having the surgery. So yeah, it was crazy. And then I had to also decide between a lumpectomy or mastectomy. And that was, for some reason, the easiest decision for me, because I think I was just so over getting these lumps in general. Mm-hmm. And then I was scared that if I had another one, then, I just didn't want to have to worry about it. So I was just I met with this doctor. They referred me to this plastic surgeon in Nashville called Dr. Unger. He's absolutely amazing. If you ever need anything done, he's amazing. But he told me about the nipple sparing mastectomy. So they actually were able to save everything. They just kind of scooped out all the tissue and the cancer and all that, and put these tissue expanders in and just did reconstruction, and it's amazing. So that was the easiest decision, which sounds like it'd be the hardest one, but it was the easiest one for me. And I'm very glad I did it.
Did you then at that time just do both breasts or just the one?
They only, I did both. And it was just this weird gut feeling that I was just over it. I had just, since I was 17, been dealing with these lumps, and I would have to get them biopsied. I probably had 8 different biopsies, and I was just now it's going to be even worse. And my doctor even said, if we find absolutely anything, you're going to biopsy from now on. And I was like, no, thank you. I just couldn't, I didn't want to have to be picked and poked and all of that and worry, wait for the results. So I just was that was the easiest decision for me, which just sounds crazy saying it out loud.
Yeah. Hearing the word cancer come out of someone's mouth has to be the most surreal, slow motion. I can't even imagine the feeling when you hear that. How did you emotionally get through all this?
To be honest, when they told me I had cancer, I pretty much already knew it. Because I did something I do not recommend anyone doing. I went to what they call Dr. Google and searched all of the stuff. And I was comparing photos of what I saw in that ultrasound. And I'm that's what this is. So I kind of already knew, but those were my hardest days. Those first, the 5 days waiting to get the results back. But yeah, emotionally, I think after I finally got the grasp on it, I kicked in this other gear where it was I just want people to know that that you can get breast cancer when you're 31, because I never knew that. And I just wanted to somehow use this crappy situation into something good, and just to make people know to get checked, because you hear wait till you're 40 to get mammograms, and it's just, it's ridiculous. The people I've met through this journey of mine that are in their 30s, even younger, who have this breast cancer, it's just insane. So that was my goal. And that's how I've kind of gotten through this, is to use this as a good in a way.
And you started a blog, correct?
I did. Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's Ta to Cancer. I try to make it cute. But I did that. I did that again to help other people, but I think it actually helped me more, because then people would connect with me that have been through it and were giving me all this advice for when I had to start chemo and when I was doing all that. And it really ended up helping me more than I think I even helped anyone else. So it's great. And I need to still continue to do that. I have plans to.
So even though you had this surgery, you still had to undergo chemo.
I did. So in the beginning, they thought they caught this early, and they thought it was stage 1, maybe stage 2. And because like from my MRI, my breast MRI, it wasn't, that shows your lymph nodes too, and it wasn't showing anything in there. But during surgery, they actually found it in my lymph nodes. And so they had to take all of my lymph nodes from my left arm. So my, what they call auxiliary lymph nodes. So they ended up taking, I think it was like 27 lymph nodes, and 6 of them were positive. So
wow.
That's when, because before it was like mastectomy, and then I wouldn't even have to do radiation. It was kind of like a cut to cure type thing. And then after they found that, I ended up having to not only do radiation, but chemo as well. So that was the tough pill to swallow. Knowing you went from maybe stage 1 to stage 3A, it's what mine was considered.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many rounds of chemo did you have to do?
I did 16 rounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I started the end of March, and I just finished in September 5th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's, I feel like I finally have my energy back, and I feel good. So I still have radiation, but we'll worry about that when I get to it.
Yeah. Again, like I don't know much about cancer at all. So going through the chemo process, I guess, how did that affect you?
I don't know what happened. I was very lucky, honestly, with my chemo. I had 2 different regimens. So the first one they called the Red Devil, which is delightful. And I had 4 of them, and it was every other week. And so they would test my blood cells and make sure everything was good, so I could actually take the treatment each time before I would take the treatment. And all of it was good, even though the last 2 treatments I felt really tired. That was really my only thing. Like, I could not move from the couch. It would last probably like 3 days, but I was so just exhausted. And so then after that treatment, which was 4 of those, I started the 12 weekly of what's called Taxol. And that one was a lot easier to take, and actually felt like I was normal. Now that I'm done with it, I'm feeling like, no, I think I was just normal compared to like what I was on when I was on AC. But I ended up I took it really well. The hardest part for me was shaving my head. Like, for some reason, the easiest part of this journey was getting rid of my breasts, but the hardest was getting rid of my hair. I don't know why, but that was like literally the worst part of this whole thing for me. And so I decided after the first round of chemo to shave my head and just get it over with, because I couldn't imagine like reaching up and seeing your hair fall out. Yeah. And so I was very lucky with these people in Nashville. It's a group with HPI. They made this wig that I'm wearing today. They made it for me, and it's amazing. They actually have this process now, which I do want to tell people going through this, if they were like me and like losing the hair was the hardest part. You can glue it on. So it's like, it gets glued on like in the kind of like the forehead and on the sides part. So you can swim in it, you can shower in it. It's amazing. And that, to me, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't look sick. So I think that was like a lot of me getting through chemo. I didn't look sick. So I wasn't feeling sick. I don't know. It could have just been mental, but
no, you look beautiful.
You do look beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
think that the hard thing is, so what they basically ever show on TV is the stage 4, you're dying, your hair's falling out, and you look like that,
Right.
And but there's so many people walking around dealing with this that you would have no idea.
No. And I'll say right now, like for some reason, the first place my head went with chemo was like, I don't know if y'all watched Parenthood, but she had chemo in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be throwing up this whole time and not be able to move from bed. And I didn't get sick once from it. And
wow.
It's not what you see on TV. And I will say, though, they did say that breast cancer, like that, the chemo they give for that's a lot easier and like some of the other chemos, like for different types of cancers. But it was not what I thought that it would be. It was actually way better. So don't believe what you see on TV, I guess.
Right. And that's like hard because that's, you know what I mean? What the majority of people see if they don't have someone close to them who've gone through it, or if they personally haven't gone through it.
Right. It's so true. So true. It's not it wasn't as bad as it seemed. It wasn't fun, and it sucked, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So are you cancer free right now? Is that your status?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I had a CT and it came back clear. And so, yeah, I mean, as far as I know, that doesn't mean there's not some rogue cancer cell that could someday come back, which is what I actually just had a doctor appointment with today, just to talk about all that. But for right now, I am cancer free. I can't find anywhere. So that's the good news.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So for anybody listening to this, maybe going through it, I guess like what advice or anything do you have? And then also for people who have someone close to them going through it, how do you support someone in that situation?
You know, everyone like probably wants different kinds of support, but for me, it was, I had the most amazing support group ever. My boyfriend works on this show called The Bobby Bones Show, and they had these people that follow the show called B-Teamers, and I'm telling you, those B-Teamers came out like crazy and still are, sending me just all kinds of care packages and stuff. And so my support system between that and then my boyfriend, who was absolutely stuck with me through this, I told him yesterday, I'm like, honey, like this is the worst we can get right now. Like I have my leg like unglued actually on Monday, so now I can take it off. And I'm like, if you can stick around during this, we're good. Like he's been amazing. So the support system, find that, like if it's family, if it's friends, whoever it is, to get you through it. And one thing too, my boyfriend, he never acted different to me. Like he never, he was still his silly self, just no matter what. And I think that made me not realize that I was going through this. Like one day during the Taxol treatment, he was like, I forget you're even on chemo sometimes. I'm like, thanks, babe. Like, I still am. It still sucks. But I think that was important to me, to not be treated differently. So I think just that, and then sending food, just stuff like that, really, it does a lot of good and help.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, how did, because like we were talking about, you got this amazing wig. I mean, the wig is amazing.
Thank you.
Did it change the way you felt as a woman? Did you see yourself differently? Or like you said, did you try to stay out of that frame of mind?
I try to stay out of the frame of mind. To be honest, like I'm telling you, as far as that and like the whole having the mastectomy, I was worried about that changing how I felt as a woman. And I'm telling you, the way you heard mastectomy before this, I thought it was just like, and sometimes it is, where you just take all your boobs completely off. But there is so much new stuff that they have come up with now, and my breasts look better now than they did before, and I'm like super excited about that. So as far as that part, I don't feel any less of a woman. My hair, I wish that would grow back, because when I take this off, I'm like, oh gosh, I kind of look like a guy. But other than that, I wish that would grow back, because I think that's mentally the hardest for me. I don't know why, but the hair has been the hardest for me. But I feel like I still feel just as much as a woman as I did before, if not more, probably more. Just being able to be stronger.
You're so strong. It's amazing.
So strong.
Thank you. I wasn't before this. And that's why people are like, how are you so strong? I'm like, before this, I would like think the littlest thing was the biggest situation. And now it's like, I just feel so much stronger. And I think this in a way has been very good for me in a really weird way.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get that. You've kind of been through it all, got the highs and the lows, and you do come out on the other side stronger.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. No, and if you guys want to check out her blog, it's Tata to Cancer. So just TATATO Cancer. And I'm sure you have tons of inspiration on there as well, and sharing your journey. I know you said that kind of the writing was therapeutic for you.
It was, and I do have some, advice on there for people that are going through this that might be going to do the mastectomy or chemo, just kind of what tips helped me get through it and stuff maybe I wish I would have known before. And so there is that on there. And then it's just my whole story from the beginning when I thought it was early, I called it early, stage 1, until when I find out. So kind of a roller coaster, but I try to keep it fun on there. It's just, if you can't laugh, then it's not worth it.
Yeah. Wow. You're just so positive.
I know. You're so positive.
I'm trying.
That's so amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us, Laura.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. It really means a lot. You're spreading awareness to this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Congratulations.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Well, she is a breath of fresh air. She is so positive through something that's so hard, which I think is sometimes the hardest part is, getting into that frame of mind that, you can see the other side. And I know that's not everyone's case because not everybody, sometimes you are stage 4 but she was very inspiring and a sweetheart.
Total sweetheart.
And it's amazing that she's using this to help other people. Like the fact that you can go on her blog and, find things like if you're going through it, that can help you. That's amazing because she's using it for good.
Yeah. Well, and when she said, that she wasn't strong before, like the littlest of things was like a big deal. I feel like that's like what helps me. Like sometimes I get super overwhelmed by the little things where I'm like, why is this happening? And it's like, you're healthy, like there's people who are struggling with this and finding out that they have cancer or going through chemo or at stage 4. And it's like, no, that's a big thing. My thing isn't, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Really just kind of put everything into perspective.
But she also mentioned you don't get mammograms till 40, which we were talking about before. 40. Yeah, so that's okay. And she even was saying that that's crazy that they wait till 40 because she's 31.
Yeah. Right. I thought it was 35, but yeah, I guess 40. That's crazy.
I wonder if you request it prematurely.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
ask. If like insurance will cover it, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. That's a good question. I will say that her talking about how she didn't get sick with chemo, I think is maybe one of the rarer cases.
Mm-hmm.
I know each chemo cocktail is different to each specific type of cancer and needs of the patient. But my cousin's husband, he had a rare stomach cancer, and he was very, very sick on chemo.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she may be one of the luckier that didn't get sick. But I think it's inspiring to hear people that, I know not everyone's can't just snap your fingers and be healed from cancer, but there are people who are out there who are survivors and, that are speaking out for everyone who is going through it. So it's amazing she's sharing her story.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we had her on, and she just has such great energy and such a positive light to shed on it. So, like we said, I mean, if you're going through this or somebody who is, you can always refer them to her blog too. Like she said, she's very real on there, but she likes to keep it lighthearted as well. And then if you know someone who's going through it, bring them food. Food makes people happy.
I think she made a very powerful point when she said, I just wanted to feel normal too. And I feel like sometimes you just need to I know it's not a normal thing to be going through, and we have no idea what's going on inside anybody's thoughts or body because we aren't them, but to still see them for who they are, and to still tell them that they are beautiful because they are. And I feel like that's one powerful piece of advice is to still see them for who they were before the cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really glad that we talked about that this week. I learned some things.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And we just wanted to take the opportunity, since it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, just to have somebody on to share their story and to teach us things, because we're always learning new things. And I think it's awesome to talk with people who have had different experiences and to get to hear other people's journeys and things that they've gone through in life.
Yeah.
So,
and check your tatas, ladies.
Yeah, check them.
Gotta give yourself that booby love. Take care of yourself.
I don't want to.
I know, but Liz, I'm gonna
I know.
Put you in check here.
Thanks.
Because everybody here wants you around, and that's something that we can technically try to help prevent.
Yeah,
we have the tools and the resources to do that, and that's kind of what breast cancer awareness is about: is the prevention before anything.
Right, you're right.
Right.
You're right.
We just love you. So
we love you.
Love your boobies.
Thanks. Love your boobies. Oh my gosh. We are gonna make a shirt that says that.
There probably are some.
There probably are.
I know.
Yeah. But all right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And please go to our Babes and Babies podcast site on iTunes and leave us reviews if you love the podcast, and make sure to subscribe so you can listen every week.
And tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your enemies.
Shout it to the world.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you guys for your continued support, and we will see you next week.
Have a good week. Bye.
Right. Bye, guys.
Ta-ta now. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.